All right, let's shift our attention now to LSU tight end Mason Taylor, who has been a 3-year starter for the Bayou Bengals down there with Brian Kelly and LSU. And what I like most about Mason Taylor, he's got outstanding hands. He had 55 catches this past season. It was his career year, a breakout season, his highest volume target season for LSU. We only had one drop. And this guy, he's followed through with that over the course of the pre-draft process. I thought he had a solid week in Mobile down at the Senior Bowl. He had one of the better position workouts of any tight end in Indianapolis at the Combine, and his hands consistently show up. So this is a guy that's going to be really reliable at the catch point. I also really like the fact that he's got a really versatile skill set. A lot of people think of versatility at the tight end position as a guy that can move all around the formation and be that mismatch player. And yeah, that is a form of versatility, but true versatility is the ability to line up and the defense does not know, is this going to be a run play or is this going to be a pass play? Because when you look at Mason Taylor, he's got the ability to chip in as both a blocker and as a pass catcher. Now, we'll get into some of the negatives here and some of the areas of growth, but I do think that versatility down the line, it's projectable versatility right now, but that versatility down the line certainly makes him an attractive option as a 3-down player, a 3-down presence as a starter in the NFL. Now, you gotta love the bloodlines as well. I would be remiss if I did not mention that he is the son of Hall of Fame pass rusher Jason Taylor, longtime pass rusher for the Miami Dolphins. His uncle on the other side is current Hall of Fame linebacker, another former Miami Dolphin, in Zach Thomas. So the bloodlines are great with Mason Taylor. But what do we see in terms of areas of improvement in his game? I mentioned he's got that versatile skill set. I do think he's got to get better in a number of areas, though. Right now, as a blocker, it's solid. He's not all that great right now at the point of attack. I think he would lose most battles against defensive ends one-on-one. And I think he can get out-physicaled as well by some linebackers, some of those downhill presences at that position in the league. And so I do think he's got to get a little bit better, a little bit more forceful on contact. That may have been a conception thing as well, what my expectations were going in. You go in and say, all right, this is the son of Jason Taylor, the nephew of Zach Thomas. He's going to be a bulldog in the run game. He wasn't quite that, Mason Taylor. I do think he can get better in that area of his game. And then I think when you look at him athletically, he's solid. He's not a bad athlete, but he's not a plus athlete. He's not a guy that's going to be that mismatch player that is going to move all around the formation and be a problem for linebackers and safeties on a consistent basis. I do think that he's going to need to be a really well-rounded player in order to be that plus starter at the position. He can get a little bit better as a route runner. There are things that he can improve on there, but this is still a very young player. I mentioned the hands. That's tough to improve on, so I like that he does not have a lot of drops on the resume. But if this is a player, I think, again, if you take the athletic upside out of it, I think he can be a starter in the NFL. I think you just have to gauge what the expectations are in terms of the ceiling. I still see a potential 3-down presence moving into the NFL. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Tyler Higbee. Now, Higbee was a 4th-round pick out of Western Kentucky. When he was coming out, had found a role as a longtime starter playing for Sean McVay and the LA Rams. And so I do think that that's kind of the level of player we're talking about with Mason Taylor. Not a consistent all-pro type presence, but a really rock-solid starter in the NFL with a two-way threat capability. I think that's Mason Taylor.